Play structure and analysis in Beauty and the Beast. We are going to be learning about how to analyze a play and its plot structure by looking at examples from this Disney movie. So, if you've not already done so, go ahead and pull out your graphic organizer that you were given today in class. We will be filling this in throughout the video, so be sure you pay attention and write down each box or shape as it comes up in the video. The first element of plot we're going to look at is the introduction. It's the first moments of the play that give information about the period, setting, characters, circumstances, and mood. In Beauty and the Beast, the introduction is the narration at the very beginning of the film that gives the history of the beast's curse. So let's take a quick look at that clip from the movie.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled, selfish, and unkind. But then, one winter's night, an old beggar woman came to the castle and offered him a single rose in return for shelter from the bitter cold.
So be sure you write down narration at the beginning of the film giving the history of the beast's curse. That narration portion goes on to explain how the prince turned away the woman and she changed into an enchantress and cast a curse on the prince, changing him into the beast. The next part of plot we're going to look at is exposition, and this is what the characters say or the dialogue about the past that helps the audience understand the present. In Beauty and the Beast, or any musical, the exposition can take place in a song. That is the case in Beauty and the Beast with the opening song of Bonjour, where the characters are introduced, specifically Belle and Gaston, and it's established that Belle is sort of an outcast in the village. So let's take a quick look at that clip.
Story about Beanstalk and an ogre and
That's nice. Marie! The baguettes! Hurry up!
Look, there she goes, that girl is strange, no question. Strange, can't you tell?
In a part of any crowd. Cause her head's upon some cloud.
Every night she's a funny girl, that
Bonjour!
Good day.
How is your family?
Bonjour.
Good day.
How is your wife?
So, in your graphic organizer, be sure to write the opening song introducing characters of Gaston and Belle. The inciting incident is an aspect of the exposition, or it at least takes place towards the beginning of the story. It's an event near the beginning of the play that creates interest or suspense. More important, it incites or sets the plot into motion, often calls opposing forces together or puts them in a position to interact. In Beauty and the Beast, the inciting incident is where Gaston sees Belle and makes the decision to marry her. Let's take a quick look at that clip from the movie.
The greatest hunter in the whole world!
I know.
No beast alive stands a chance against you. And no girl for that matter.
It's true, Boo. And I've got my sights set on that one.
Look, the inventor's daughter?
She's the one. The lucky girl I'm going to marry.
But she...
The most beautiful girl in town.
I know, but...
That makes her the best. And don't I deserve the best?
Well, of course. I mean, you do.
Right from the moment when I met her, saw her, I said she's gorgeous and I fell. Here in town there's only she who is beautiful as me. So I'm making plans to woo and marry Belle.
So be sure you write down that the inciting incident is Gaston sees Belle and decides to marry her. Every story or plot has a conflict, and the conflict is where the play's two major opposing forces conflict. each play has opposing forces. It could be two people versus each other, it could be someone versus themselves or their psyche or emotions, it could be a group of people versus a natural disaster. So, some examples: Harry Potter versus Voldemort, humans versus zombies. In Beauty and the Beast, it's Belle and the Beast as the protagonists and Gaston as the antagonist. So Belle and Gaston are in conflict, and the Beast and Gaston are in conflict. The point of attack is an event that occurs when the two conflicting forces meet and conflict for the first time about the principal conflict of the play. The principal conflict in Beauty and the Beast is that Gaston wants to marry Belle, but she does not want to marry him. So Belle refuses Gaston's marriage proposal, is the point of attack. Let's take a quick look at a clip from the movie.
You, Belle.
Gaston, I'm speechless. I really don't know what to say.
Say you'll marry me.
I'm very sorry, Gaston, but I just don't deserve you.
Whoa!
So be sure you've written down Belle refuses Gaston's marriage proposal for the point of attack. The point of attack sets off the rising action. And throughout the rising action, there are complications. A complication is an event which intensifies the flow of the play's action in a certain direction by making the main thread of the plot more difficult, involved, or intricate. It increases interest and suspense. The rising action is simply a bunch of complications that lead up to the climax. Here's a list of some complications that occur in Beauty and the Beast. So go ahead and write this down. We don't have time to go through and look at all of these clips, so just take some time to write at least most of these down. You don't have to write every single one. I know the box isn't huge, so just write most of these that you see here. Maybe pick out the important ones that you notice if you've seen the movie before. And let's move on to the crisis. The crisis is when two conflicting forces meet and conflict for the last time. It's the high point of tension during the play. For Beauty and the Beast, this is when the villagers and Gaston attack the castle. Let's take a quick look at the crisis.
The devil?
Belle, look out!
You guys gotta try this thing.
Up here, you scummy scum! Run, friend, run!
So the crisis is the attack on the castle, specifically when Gaston confronts the Beast. I think there might have been some other Disney movies spliced into that previous clip, so just ignore those. During the crisis, one conflicting force wins and the other loses. The conflict is over. This is called the climax. Often the climax is a single short moment. In The Beauty and the Beast, It's when Gaston stabs the beast, loses his balance, and falls to his death. The denouement comes after the play's climax, and it explains and unravels the complex strands of the plot, which have played an important part in the play's action and outcome. The denouement in Beauty and the Beast is when the beast transforms back into human form, into the original prince, and the other residents of the castle also return to human form. The resolution is the final wrapping up of events or moments of the play, and it gives the audience some idea of what the future might hold for the characters after the play has ended. In the case of Beauty and the Beast, the resolution is the final scene where Belle and the prince dance at the ball. So, this is basically what your graphic organizer should look like. I'll leave it up here to give you some time to fill it out just in case you missed anything earlier in the video. Feel free to rewind or pause the video if you'd like to go back and review certain parts of it. And we'll see you in class tomorrow.